So many people are afraid of the kitchen. Don't be. Get in there and cook. A lot of what inspires me is my Mima. She would go in the kitchen and prepare meals which could feed an army, her army. And a lot of what she knew came from the amazing parents that raised her. Southern cuisine not only soothes my palate, but flows through my blood. From Mima, Papa, and Granny. Collards, neck bones, peach cobbler, grits and sausage for breakfast. All the things from my childhood, etched in my memory forever. It's my turn now to take the recipes I love and make some of them for the first time on camera. This is where Southern meets City, and I am Alexander Love. Hello everyone, it's Alexander Love back at you guys with another episode of Where Southern Meets City, okay? And today we're gonna put two of my very favorites together. Peach cobbler and cheesecake. I can't stop thinking about a peach cobbler cheesecake. And I've seen plenty of different recipes for it on YouTube. But this one, I'm going to tweak a little bit and make it my own. On the end down there, we got the vanilla wafers. We got the ground cinnamon. We got the ground nutmeg. We got the vanilla. We got the 3 blocks of cream cheese. We have the 4 small cans of peaches. I might use 3. We'll see. I have my cornstarch to thicken my filling a little bit like I did for my peach cobbler video. I got my dark brown sugar, and I got 4 eggs, okay? So what I'm gonna do today, we ain't gonna talk too much. We're gonna just get over here to the stove and start making this filling, and then we're gonna make our cheesecake, our crust, and then our cheesecake, okay? Stay tuned, and if you have not, please make sure you subscribe. Okay, that's pretty much it. I think I've covered everything. I have the gift of gab, so I can usually just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. But go ahead, let's get in the kitchen. So I'm gonna pour all 4 small cans of my, drop the can, we'll get it later. I'm gonna pour all 4 small cans of my peaches right in the pot, okay? Now when I made my peach cobbler, I used 4 large cans because you gotta fill a whole pan. So I got that on a medium-high heat, about a tablespoon of the ground nutmeg. That smells so good. A tablespoon of ground cinnamon. Okay, so we're gonna mix those in. So I wanted to go ahead and make this first because I'm gonna need to put it in the cheesecake before I bake it. And I'm also gonna have to put the glaze on top from the peaches, the juice from the peaches on top of the cheesecake when it comes out of the oven. Some more of that ground cinnamon in there. And then I'm gonna go ahead and estimate probably like a half a tablespoon, maybe a teaspoon of vanilla. Just like that, okay? It's getting nice and warm. Put about a half a cup of my dark brown sugar in here. There we go. Oh shit, I got sugar everywhere. We'll clean it up later. We're gonna mix that in. Okay, so we put our dark brown sugar in there. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put about a half of a cup of regular sugar in there. I'm estimating. You don't want me making the Kool-Aid at dinner. Give your ass diabetes. Okay, that smells so good. I'm gonna take a spoon and kind of just taste the sauce and see if it's the right flavor. Okay, wait a minute, can you see that? I'm gonna taste the sauce and see if it's the right flavor really quick. That's good. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make our cornstarch, mix our cornstarch with some water, and we're gonna get this as thick as we can get it. So I'm gonna go ahead and estimate probably about 1 to 2 tablespoons of cornstarch in the bottom of that, and then we're going to put about 1/4 cup of water into this. One thing you want to do is make sure you mix your cornstarch in your water first, and you want to always make sure you add your cornstarch slurry to a hot liquid or a hot substance. It'll help it expand better. So now my peaches are coming up to a simmer in our pot, so they're hot, they're nice and hot. Everything's mixed in, everything's incorporated in, and I'm gonna go ahead and start to pour that cornstarch in. It should start to thicken up on me. Now, a moment ago when I tasted it on the spoon, you guys remember how runny that was, that juice is starting to thicken up a bit. I'm gonna go ahead and pour the rest of that in there. And what's happening is it's getting thick. You guys can see it's starting to bubble, and it's a lot thicker than what it was before. Okay, what I'm gonna do is add a little bit more cornstarch because I want it to be a little bit thicker than that. And then once we get done doing that, we're gonna go ahead and just let this simmer on low until we get done making our crust and our cheesecake filling, and then we'll turn it off. Now the reason I want this to be a little bit thicker is because it's gonna be these peaches are gonna be sitting on top of the cheesecake. I want it to kind of hold a little bit more and not be as runny. But we want this to be a nice thick sauce. Put a little bit more cornstarch in there until I get it as thick as I want it. Thick as me, baby. And it's nice and thick. That's a nice sauce. That'll go good on top of the cheesecake. Now I'm gonna go ahead and reduce my heat down to a medium low heat. So we're gonna let that simmer. So what you're gonna do now is you're gonna take 2 cups of your vanilla wafers and you're gonna put those in a bowl with some melted butter, about 3/4 of a stick of butter. I use 1 stick just because I just like it to be a little extra buttery. Remember, 2 cups of vanilla wafers. to about 3/4 of a stick to a stick of butter. Damn it. Girl, this shit do not want to go on. There we go. I'm stupid as fuck. I need about 2 cups. Okay, that's a little over 1. And when I did this the last time, it's about a whole box. 1 box of vanilla wafer is 2 cups crushed. Yep, about a cup. Boom, right in there just like that. So I'm just gonna use a whole stick because it was a little over a couple cups of crackers, crumbs. So we got our 1 stick of melted butter. Now what I am gonna do with this crust, like I did for my Cinnabon one, I'm gonna go ahead and add some ground cinnamon to it. It's a little bit, probably about a teaspoon. About a teaspoon of vanilla just for flavor. Also gonna put some brown sugar in it. Probably about 1/4 of a cup, not too much. Just so the crust has some flavor. A little nice taste. We're gonna go ahead and drop that in our pan. Your springform pan, you guys know I love these. Now we're gonna press this in the pan. There we go. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and place this in the oven for about 5 to maybe 10 minutes, just depending. All right guys, so we're back. What I went ahead and did is I took my crust out. It sat in the oven for about 7 minutes, took it out, now it's cooling off. We have our cream cheese right here. You wanna make sure you let this sit out and kind of get room temperature, let it get soft. We're gonna drop all 3 of those in there. And I went ahead and pre-cracked my 4 large eggs back here because I've dropped shells and things before. So I went ahead and pre-cracked them so I don't have to worry about that, okay? So you wanna beat this until it's really smooth, and we're gonna add the sugar in. And then we're going to add 1 egg at a time. It's going to be 3/4 cup of sugar, okay? Just mix that on in. And one thing you want to make sure you do is make sure you scrape your sides so you get everything incorporated, okay? You don't want to have chunks of anything not mixed in. You want everything to be mixed in and mixed in well. Scrape the bowl. All right, so now we're going to do 1 egg at a time. See how that's coming together? I'll go ahead and take this and scrape the sides. Make sure everything is incorporated. Make sure that batter is nice and smooth. Then what we're going to do is I'm actually going to take some of those peaches and I'm going to process them down in this, kind of blend them down in that, and we're going to add them to our batter. Okay, so I got a little bit over a cup of my peaches out of the pot. Okay, and I'm going to pour those in here. You know, just a nice little kind of a peach kind of preserve kind of thing. Kind of, you know what I mean. Okay, about a cup of those are going to go in. We're going to go ahead and pour this in our crust. Nice and mixed all the way. You know, fill it all the way up. So now you got all that in there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take our peach that we just kind of processed down, and I'm going to pour that along the top. Then what I'm going to do is take my little spatula thing and I'm going to kind of mix it in just like that. So you kind of incorporate all the peach throughout the whole cheesecake. No matter what bite you take, you'll get some peach. We're going to go ahead and sit this in the oven. It has to cook in the oven on 350 for an hour. After the hour, you're going to go ahead and turn the oven off and let it sit in the oven for another 30 minutes while the oven's off. So let's mix those peaches in. All right, guys, I'm really anxious to see how this is going to turn out. Knock some bubbles out of it. Okay, there we go. Okay guys, so I took it out. It sat in there for 30 minutes with the oven off. An hour bake, 30 minutes oven off. I'm gonna run a knife around the edges just so I know it won't stick. And it actually did a really good job. It really didn't crack or anything. I went ahead and separated the juice in the peaches. What I'm gonna do is take probably about half of this and pour it right over the top and then sit it in the refrigerator overnight. Tomorrow, what I'm going to do is take these when they're all cooled down and put these on top after the whole thing's cool and after the peaches are cool. But for now, we're going to take this and run this all down it. And this is why I was saying I wanted it to be a little thicker so it wouldn't be nearly as runny. All down the sides. And then tomorrow, whenever I taste it, I'll go ahead and top it with the rest of these big peaches. All right. Bye. So let's see what this looks like. Wow, that turned out really nice. You see how the glaze kind of thickened up on it? It's still soft, but it thickened. If you would have made it thin, it wouldn't set up that well. That looks so pretty. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick one of these jars. Pick this one, pop the top off, and then I'm just gonna pour them in there. Look at that. That looks absolutely amazing. I'm proud of it. That looks so good. Look at that. Oh my gosh. That's pretty. Look at that. Oh wow. It's really peachy. That's good. That's the shit. That right there, that's that bitch right there. That's good.